That's how people get tendinitis in the wrist and that sort of thing, by moving with the fingers tense. Okay, to apply this in a piece, that same source study we were doing before. That spot, you know, if I wasn't relaxing well in between each chord, it would get very tight, you know, but building in those relaxations really helps. Even if you have legato chords, practicing putting in those relaxations makes it much easier later on. Okay, now we've talked about stretching this way. What about expansion and contraction of the left hand fingers? This is a really important concept. Some people don't give it enough thought, in that we always have to be aware of how many frets we have between fingers, and especially when, you know, if you play a chromatic position on the 9th fret, it's much more contracted than chromatic position on the 1st fret. Much more stretch here. Okay, so we want to be aware of how much stretch we have. Some people have trouble controlling these fingers. They tend to collapse like this, and they can't control this. There's some calisthenic exercises you can do to help build up these muscles. What you do is you hold all 4 fingers down. Now with the index finger of your right hand, push gently against this joint so that it resists. Don't push so hard that it actually collapses, but push so that it resists, and you'll know how hard to push. Don't push too hard and gently come off. Then you can push with this against the 2nd finger this way, or squeeze the 2 together and try to resist that motion. Okay. Don't do it too much because you're using new muscles and you can hurt yourself. But you have to be able to get control over this kind of extension. Okay. Now we're going to do some stretching exercises which help to get us aware of the contraction and expansion in the fingers. Just follow along here. What I want to do is contract and expand when I relax. When I lift my finger and relax, then I can expand. So it will look like expand, contract, expand, contract. Let's try it with 1 and 3. Real contraction, expand, 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 and if you can, whoops, and then contract gradually. Now with 4. See how far you can get. Keep it nice and relaxed. Now let's try it with 2 and 3. 2 and 3 might be the hardest for you. That one might take some work. And then 2 and 4. What we're doing is building up awareness of the extension and contraction. 3 and 4. I don't know. That's a tough one. Okay, so you get the idea? Okay, now let's talk about slurs. Slurs or legatos in the left hand. This is when the left hand essentially plucks a note. And it's a really useful technique. You find it everywhere in the guitar literature. Again, it's sometimes misunderstood. A slur is exactly like plucking in the right hand, except we're doing it in the left hand. And just as in the right hand we talked about motion from this joint, from the main knuckle, being the most important thing, it's the same thing in the left hand. The motion should be from this knuckle. Now let me use this finger model that I used before. Remember, with the right hand it was this motion. Well, it's the same thing with the left hand. If this is the string we're hammering on to, you want to feel that the whole finger is moving down to the string like this. If the hand is too far away, then you have to straighten and move up to the hammer-on, okay? And you're not using the whole finger effectively. On the guitar, that looks like this. If you're too low, and you have to move up like that. First of all, we can't feel the arm kicking in to help us hold the finger down when we do that. But also, the finger's straightening to the string instead of keeping its curvature. So the proper way is to start from, let me do it with the 4th finger so you can see it a little better. Instead of starting from below, like that, we want to start with it just slightly above. Not too curled, because that's, again, too much of a of an extreme. Nicely curled, but above the string. And the whole finger moves down. Okay, so let's try this. We'll start with with the first finger going to the second finger. You want to move nice and accurately. Just throw the finger down, and as soon as it hits, relax it. Now let's go 2, 3. And 3, 4. Now how about 1, 3, 2, 4. Okay, see how that works? Okay, now the pull-off is the opposite of the hammer-on in that you start with one finger and pull off to the next. Now, the term pull-off, I think, is not such a great term because a lot of people get the feeling that it's an aggressive motion. It's more like a yank-off than a pull-off. And you hear a lot of people getting a sound like